المطر. فضح الشوارع الرطبة والمقاول الغشاش والدول الفاشلة. يذكر الفقير بسقفه النحيل وردائه الهزيل.
The prophetic words of Darnah-based poet Mustafa al-Trabelsi. He published this poem on Facebook on the eve of the flood that swept him and many thousands more to their deaths as they slept.
All the people are upset and angry. There was no preparedness, although there were news reports talking about being prepared. Honestly, we put a lot of blame on the authorities.
The authorities, the failed state al-Trabelsi wrote of, were warned repeatedly in news reports after the last flood.
The infrastructure of the city is really weak. The weather destroyed roads and flooded the valleys. We're calling on officials to work on the city as soon as possible.
Warned by academics, this paper just last year concluding there was a high potential for flood risk, that the dams of Wadi Darnah Basin need maintenance. And warned by the poet al-Trabelsi himself, one of several people who reportedly attended a meeting a mere 4 days before the storm to discuss Darnah's crumbling dams. Now entire neighbourhoods have been erased from the map. Gone the barbers, the pharmacy, the pizza joint, the sweet shop, and everything and everyone in between. Almost everyone, for there are miracles, but few and far between. This newborn found, her mother still missing. So, the questions. Why did the army initially order people to stay put? Don't leave your homes, Darnah's security director said on TV on Sunday evening as Storm Daniel began to pummel down. And should the water already stored in the city's aging dams have been released, would it have prevented them from being tumbled down the wadi when they were never built to withstand this level of unprecedented rain? Some think it may not have made any difference.
The dam is made up of loose material which can't resist the flow and will be eroded and will damage or maybe destroy the dam. So if the water rises up and flow over the dams, then any dam, what type, doesn't matter the condition of the dam, it will be dramatically damaged or destroyed.
The floodwaters that swallowed a town, the catastrophic outcome of political feuds, civil war, infrastructure left to rot, and the devastating power of a superheated summer storm.
Amy and Zeram there now. People living in the UK with roots in Libya have been speaking about their grief at losing relatives in the floods, describing it simply as a catastrophe. Mosques across Britain have been using Friday prayers to remember those who've been lost and to raise funds for the aid effort. Our North of England correspondent Claire Fallon has been to Leeds and Bradford to speak to some of those affected.
So home is for me, Libya is Darnah. So Darnah is my city, my home city.
You grew up there?
I grew up there, yeah.
You love Darnah?
So much.
For 2 days, Salima didn't know who was alive and who was dead. A teacher and researcher living in Bradford, she now knows her sister and brother and their children survived. But still, she's grieving an unknown number.
I can't count. I don't know who else is, who else we will see, we will know about, and who else is passed away and confirmed. It's a catastrophe. I don't know, it's a sadness, if I can express myself well. I don't know how to describe it. I don't think the words are enough for me to describe it.
Friday prayers in Leeds. For some here, praying is one of the few things easing the sense of helplessness.
When the floods came, I found out we lost 16 members of my family.
How many?
16, 16. And there were 4 brothers and their wives and their children. They were all swept away by the sea. And just, we don't know even where they are at the moment. They only managed to recover one body. And the other 15, we just have no idea where they are. We don't know if they are in the sea or under the mud or the rubble.
To raise funds for those in desperate need, they're collecting cash and selling food. But the logistics of getting money and aid to Libya, even to close family and friends, haven't been easy.
I imagine at the moment there must be, for all Libyans, huge grief, but also frustration at not being able to do more because of the practicalities involved.
To be honest, there is many difficulties that we're facing, starting from there is no connection between banks, UK banks and Libyan banks. The second, there is no any direct flight between UK and Libya, which is make it more difficult and to, for example, travel back or send any goods or items for helping.
It's the people, and then now who else is there, how they will survive. Can you imagine if you just, in 3 hours, you will not find anything. You will be either nothing there, or you will find like one parent or one child with nothing. No house, no family.
With loss and need on a scale it's hard to imagine. Like many who call Darnah home, Salima is determined to help. And she too will need help, not least while there's still no word about some of her family.
Do one of you want to give Mum a hug?